Bitcoin, again, achieving the level that I've been saying it was going to achieve for a long period of time now, for the last month or so. And again, that's at 107 to 108,000. Now the big question is, does it stall out and reverse, or do we see it float into year end like the markets could? And I say could because we just don't know. Even I don't know the technicals. You go with them, but you also have to say that, listen.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Gareth Soloway reveals institutional-level analysis and techniques to retail investors in this Alive Daily show. Gareth has been a day trader and swing trader for over 25 years and worked with countless hedge funds and mega institutions to train their traders.
When you have, and I want to be clear on this, folks, this is super, super important here, is that when you have a situation where the Christmas holiday is on a Wednesday and the New Year's Day is on a Wednesday, that basically kills 2 weeks into the end of the month, because you're going to have people that are going to take off Monday and Tuesday because it's, Monday is Monday, right? And then it's Tuesday's Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, and then the rest of the week shot. And then you got next week, same thing, New Year's Eve's on a Tuesday, New Year's Day's on a Wednesday, basically kills the whole week, right? So the idea is that this is where it becomes very tricky. The markets are near a top. The reversal signals, the breadth of the market, all these things that I've mentioned are unbelievably key, but we don't know if they could float for a little while longer before they get that bigger rollover, because we just don't know what type of level of institutional interest and trading is going to be had. If it's just retail investors, the markets are going to go up, right? Because retail investors have a lot of money on the sidelines. We are now at a point, and these are stats that I was just looking at recently, you have more people bullish on 2025 amongst retail than you have ever had in the history of people looking at that percentage. Now, to me, that's a huge contrarian indicator, right? In fact, you can map it out and see that when people were not even this bullish, but just close to this level, it was almost always a market top. Well, now we have the most bullish ever. Got to think again, we will look at the NASDAQ composite, the 100. The S&P, these charts of, Broadcom and Tesla and Google and Bitcoin, and all of these, it's breadcrumbs that are leading us to a conclusion. Now, is it ever going to be 100% conclusion? No, of course not. It's never going to be that, but it can get us pretty darn close to saying, okay, probabilities are we have a market top here in the near term over the next few weeks and again into January. All right, by the way, Fed decision on Wednesday, tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll be watching closely. Now, Bitcoin, again, you have your upsloping short-term parallel. We just tagged it yesterday. We have your longer-term parallel. If we flip over to our weekly chart here, again, look at that upsloping line there. We have now achieved both of those targets. Again, it was 107 to 108. Yesterday, we hit, I think, 107, 800-ish, give or take. Again, it could pierce by a tiny bit, but in general, this is where, for me, I initiated a short on Bitcoin yesterday. Again, starting to inch into a short side, looking for a swing trade pullback. Basically, at minimum back to the parallel, the low end of the parallel would be maybe where we take off a little bit, maybe half off around 99, 98. But then if that breaks, that's where you get your bigger correction. Okay, so that's something to watch there. If we look at gold real quick, we'll just take a quick gander at gold. Gold continues to kind of stay a little on the weaker side, although still into a lot of support. Big support level right down here as well at around 26.15. With resistance right here at 27.15. So it's a $100 range right here from here all the way across. And remember, gold will move big on the Federal Reserve tomorrow in their decision and more so their commentary. And remember, everyone's expecting the 25 basis points cut. The Fed will do that because they don't like to surprise the markets. It's more about the press conference and the guidance about future cuts that is going to be key for investors and the market.
Bitcoin surged to a record-breaking high of $107,000. Reflecting a nearly 6% increase over the past week. This unprecedented rally was fueled by President-elect Donald Trump's proposal to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve, modeled after the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The announcement has sparked optimism within the cryptocurrency market, signaling a potential shift toward a more favorable regulatory environment under Trump's administration. Trump's pro-crypto stance has been widely welcomed, with his vision of integrating Bitcoin into the national strategic reserves marking a historic milestone in the recognition of digital assets at a government level. Analysts suggest this policy could enhance Bitcoin's legitimacy. Adding to the momentum are expectations of another U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate cut, as lower rates typically favor risk assets like Bitcoin. The rally also received a boost from the inclusion of MicroStrategy in the Nasdaq 100 index, a landmark event highlighting the growing institutional acceptance of Bitcoin. BTC touched an all-time high again after 10 days of consolidation. It seems to have marked its support over $2 trillion market cap, making it the seventh largest asset in the world by market cap, with Amazon and Google being less than 15% away, it said. Bitcoin's leap beyond the $107,000 mark follows a steady 7-week winning streak, underscoring the cryptocurrency's robust fundamentals. Rahul Pajitapati, CEO of Zepay, noted that Bitcoin's milestone reflects its evolution into a legitimate asset class. Bitcoin is now effectively one of the top 10 most valued assets globally, ranking above most commodities and corporations, Pajitapati said. He also highlighted that the total crypto market capitalization has crossed $3.5 trillion, underscoring the scale of adoption. Similarly, Tanava Kanchan, head of strategy at Anand Rathi Shares and Stockbrokers, highlighting the broader implications of these developments, said, the proposed strategic Bitcoin reserve and increasing corporate treasury integration signify a shift toward mainstream adoption.
If we look at the chart of silver today, silver is down a little bit. We are tagging this lower parallel. So the idea is small bounce, and then I still think you break down on silver because, again, the bigger pattern is down, sideways chop, and we look for that move to the downside. And then if we quickly look to oil here, if we look at oil again coming back in, remember, here's a trend line. This is only a minor trend line, but you closed above, didn't confirm, confirmed the breakout, retraced. The idea is as long as you don't confirm back below this line, you would favor a move to the upside here. Again, a move up, let's say, towards that 73.50, 74 level. Now, if it breaks here and confirms, this is right in play again, this 66, 65 level, which is your much, much bigger potential breakdown level right here. And this would be epic. If we start breaking below this, things are going to get real bad in the U.S. economy if that's the case. And again, that's just one of my big indicators for the economy that I am keeping an eye on. If we look at natural gas real quick here, guys, nat gas, again, holding steady. It is starting to try to break this line. I do expect it to break down. Again, flag pull down, sideways chop, hammering on support, which weakens the doorway here or the floor. Eventually, you figure a breakdown. Short-term support would be 277 with further downside to about 235 to 240. That, again, remains my zone for a high probability buy on natural gas for the time being. All right, so when all is said and done, guys, we are looking at a market here where, you just got to watch the breadcrumbs, right? We have to watch and see not only what the Fed says tomorrow, but also do we see a rotation of capital? I'm thinking, again, the Dow's been down 8 straight days. The Dow is due for a bounce. So maybe the NASDAQ pulls back, money flow comes out and goes to more defensive names in the Dow, helping that bounce for a day or two. But ultimately, we are at a point where that market breadth has to be taken into account. Like, it is not healthy, folks, to have, 10 straight down days or 10 straight days where the markets have more declining issues than advancing, especially when the NASDAQ's hitting new highs, right? That's something's amiss there. It's telling you there's a couple key names, a $1 trillion company by the name of Broadcom, for instance, a $1 trillion company named by the name of Tesla, $1 trillion company name of the name of Amazon. There's certain stocks that are so powerful in that index that they're lifting the rising tide, essentially lifting the markets, but the underlying is festering. It is decaying.
MicroStrategy has acquired 15,350 Bitcoin between December 9 and December 15 for approximately $1.5 billion at an average price of $100,386 per BTC. This latest purchase raises the company's total Bitcoin holdings to 439,000 BTC, valued at over $45 billion. The acquisition was financed through the sale of 3,884,712 Class A shares. To date, MicroStrategy has spent $27.1 billion on Bitcoin, with an average purchase price of $61,725 per coin. The recent purchase follows another major acquisition just a week earlier, when MicroStrategy bought 21,550 BTC for $2.1 billion at an average price of $98,783 per Bitcoin. Over the last 6 weeks alone, the company has added $17.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, accounting for 39% of its total holdings. MicroStrategy's market cap has reached $92 billion, with its stock trading at a notable premium to its Bitcoin net asset value. MicroStrategy's executive chairman Michael Saylor has consistently expressed strong confidence in Bitcoin. "I'm sure that I will be buying Bitcoin at $1 million a coin. Probably $1 billion a day of Bitcoin at $1 million a coin," he stated. The company uses a performance metric called Bitcoin yield, which measures Bitcoin growth relative to diluted shares. As of December 15, the year-to-date Bitcoin yields stood at 72.4%. On December 14, Nasdaq announced that MicroStrategy would join the Nasdaq 100 index on December 23. Analysts expect significant institutional buying as exchange-traded funds like QQQ are set to include the stock. Bloomberg analyst James Seyffart estimates that at least $2.1 billion worth of shares will be purchased. The company's stock price has surged more than 490% this year, closing at $408.67 last Friday and rising 3.5% in pre-market trading on Monday. Upcoming changes to accounting rules for digital assets in 2025 could bolster MicroStrategy's prospects. The new rules will allow companies to report gains when Bitcoin prices increase, improving financial visibility. Bernstein analysts argue that this rule change could enhance MicroStrategy's chances of qualifying for the S&P 500 index, despite the software business's limited profitability. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.